What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome. Philly with John Marks on PHLY. As always, sponsored by BetParx. Well, we made it. We're live on a Friday morning. Good morning to everybody out there watching live on YouTube. What's up? Every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., 8 to 9 a.m., we're live on YouTube. And we appreciate you getting involved in the show, in the chat, and everything else. So good morning to you out there, everybody watching on TV, Xfinity, Samsung Plus, Roku, and others. Good morning. We're available live every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. And then, we play the content around the clock so you can catch us later on, everything we do here on PHLY. Just make sure on YouTube you're liking and subscribing. And if you're watching after the fact, give it a comment with what we're talking about here. We love hearing what people think of the shows. And if you listen on the audio-only podcast, thank you. We appreciate it. We are there for you audio people. So if you're in the car and you're like, hey, I'm looking for something cool to listen to. Oh, I didn't hear Philly today. All right, well, just remember, audio-only podcast available wherever you find your podcasts. Walgreens, Dwayne Reedy, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. There you go. As always, the PHLY Daily by Rich Hoffman Jr. You should go to allphly.com and subscribe, because if you're looking for all the Philly news of the day, Rich does the work for you. He does the heavy lifting. I know you like to go to the sites, all your sites, and be like, oh, yeah, I checked this out, check that out. Yeah, you know what? Allphly.com. Rich Hoffman Jr. does a great job putting together everything in the world of Philly sports, everything that happened here on the network, including last night's loss for your Fightin' Phils. Put one in the loss column for your Fightin' Phils. Not going to talk a lot about this today. Tyler has a live show coming up on PHLY Phillies. He'll do some of that discussion. Bryce Harper with a big error last night. He's still not hitting well. He may discuss that today. I'll just say this. You win 2 or 3 against the Nationals. Nationals aren't a good team. Phillies won 2 or 3. You have the Diamondbacks now coming into town. Not feeling great about this series, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. Feels like the Diamondbacks have had the Phillies number since the NLCS 2023 now? Holy cow. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend. So, not going to spend a lot of time on the Phillies today, other than to say they lost last night, and I don't really care all that much. Luzardo, Nola, Ranger Suarez makes his debut for the Phillies. That's coming up. So yesterday, or was it, when did we play the Philly feud? Was that yesterday, Tyler? Yeah, we played it yesterday. We played the Philly feud, and we asked ChatGPT for the top 10 Eagles draft picks since 1980. So I didn't want to go back into the Stone Age or whatever. So modern day 1980, the top 10 Eagles draft picks. And it's ChatGPT, so you know the answers were going to be interesting and not necessarily things we agree with. But one of my takeaways, and I heard from some people out there with it as well, was that Jalen Hurts didn't make the list of a top 10 Eagles draft pick. And you would say, all right, well, maybe it's too recent. Well, what do you mean it's too recent? He's been in 2 or 3 Super Bowls. All right, maybe he hasn't had a complete career yet. But some of the lists that were on there, I was a little bit surprised that he didn't make the list. But a guy like Donovan McNabb was 4th on the list. So if you missed it, ChatGPT, top 10 Eagles draft picks since 1980. And Reggie White was number 1, but he was a supplemental draft pick after the USFL folded. So I didn't really include that. So in order, Brian Dawkins, Jason Kelsey, number 5 will always love you. Fletcher Cox, Lane Johnson, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Brandon Graham, Jordan Mailata. Now, Jordan Mailata was drafted in 2018. It's not like Lane Johnson, Lane Johnson's a future Hall of Famer. His career that he's had with the Eagles, he's won 2 Super Bowls. All right, you can't argue with that. shady. Like, all right, like all-time leading rusher in Eagles history. Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years and has a championship, and it's the Super Bowl MVP. So anyway, now this gets me down so many different paths here with everything with Jalen Hurts. But like for me, and this is more of a me problem than anything else. I'll be the first one to admit it. But even during the Philly feud, when Donovan was released as the number 4 answer on the board, like I'm like, all right, listen. I'm not telling you Donovan wasn't a good draft pick. They could have went with a quarterback after him that was bad. They could have outsmarted themselves and drafted Cade McNown. They drafted the right quarterback. Andy drafted the right quarterback. And Donovan was a good quarterback in the NFL. He was an above average Pro Bowl level quarterback that did some winning. He did. He went to Pro Bowls. He went to a Super Bowl. Donovan was a good player. And people that call him trash, like you're way, way, way overreacting. His first from 99 when he came into the league, and he was not a refined passer. And then each year, 2000, it's like, wow, this kid can play. 2001, better as a passer. By the 2004 Super Bowl season with Terrell Owens, when you finally gave him a weapon, it's like Donovan's a really good quarterback. And then he kind of regressed from there. So you're talking about a 5-year window, and he was still good after that, don't get me wrong, but he started getting injured, he started bulking up, and he lost the ability to really have his legs affect his game. 2008, they go to that NFC Championship game and they lose. After that, he was pretty much cooked. So you're not talking about a long career, a 4 or 5, like 5-6 year window with the Eagles where he was an above average quarterback. And I send it back to, because if you're going to ask me if Jalen deserves to be on any quarterback list over Donovan McNabb, if you're going to tell me no, I don't even know how to continue the conversation. Donovan McNabb had his number retired by the Eagles. And if you go back, and Tyler used the word retroactively, if you retroactively decided, should we, knowing what you know now about what happened with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts and Nick Foles and winning the Super Bowls, do you look at the retirement of Donovan McNabb's jersey the same? And the answer is, of course not. You don't. He bullied his way to getting the Eagles to retire his number because, frankly, he doesn't deserve his number being retired. If you look at his career, really good player, you're going to have Eagles players that are much better players with the Eagles franchise than Donovan's going to have been. And are you going to be able to retire their numbers? You can't retire a lot of numbers in the NFL. So now you have Randall, that Donovan was a better quarterback than Randall. But Randall, they don't use 12. They don't use Shady McCoy's number because it's a way of paying tribute to them without retiring the number. But you're still not giving the number out, for God's sakes. So anyway, his number's retired. I'm not saying to go back and take it away, but like, really, Donovan McNabb's number's retired and people are saying he's a better quarterback than Jalen? No, he's not. That's ridiculous. And if you retroactively look at his career and the way he bullied his way into getting his number retired. Do you know they retired Donovan McNabb's number a season after he retired? He didn't die. This wasn't Peyton Manning or John Elway or Tom Brady where you retire it right away. Okay, if you want to retire his number after a couple of years. But like, are they retiring Fletcher Cox's number next year? That's the equivalent, except Fletcher won 2 Super Bowls. They're not going to, if they retire Fletcher Cox's number, which I think they probably do, it's not going to be this year or next year. I mean, come on. Give me a break. Donovan McNabb was a good quarterback. He's not a Hall of Fame level quarterback, and he didn't mean that much to this franchise. Brandon Graham meant so much more to this franchise and his 2 Super Bowl wins than Donovan ever did. Donovan was the quarterback. And I heard for a long time from the sympathizers, best quarterback in franchise history. So freaking what? There's a lot of great quarterbacks in franchise history or best quarterbacks in franchise history. Doesn't mean you retire his number. That is reserved for special all-time players. And what's happened over the last decade and a half with Donovan McNabb shows you that he wasn't a special all-time player. Ring of Honor, Eagles Hall of Famer? Absolutely. Retired number? No, absolutely not. Here's my list. A welcome in Tyler Zulli to the program. And by the way, this portion of this program brought to you by Glatt Hair Restoration, glatthairmm.com, 610-980-4000. My top 5 Eagles quarterback list, and we'll just do modern. I forget to put this sometimes to qualify it. I'm just assuming there's not a lot of people following me on Twitter or listening to this that's like 80 years old. But my top 5 Eagles quarterback list: Jalen Hurts 1, Nick Foles 2, Donovan 3, Randall 4, Jaws 5. If you want to argue with me, if you want to say you're crazy putting Foles over McNabb on the list, I know Foles won a Super Bowl. I still have to put Donovan on this list. I'll say I totally disagree, but it makes sense. Nick had the 2013 Pro Bowl season where he went off and then he was never the same player, and then came back in a backup capacity and had a little bit of a run in the playoffs, boom, and then came back the next year as well and almost led the Eagles back to an NFC Championship game. Who knows what happens? But I'm not going to argue with you. Randall on no list, even though I'm a Randall guy and I liked Randall a lot more than I like Donovan. But Donovan accomplished much more than Randall Cunningham. It's not even a conversation. And then Jaws went to a Super Bowl, was an offensive player of the year, but I still like the impact that Randall had on me personally over Jaws, and what the impact he had over the NFL, becoming the first kind of quarterback of his style, the ultimate weapon, goes on the list before me. But so here's my question to the people out there, and here's my question to you, Tyler Zulli. With everything I just said about Donovan McNabb, how out of line am I to you?
I was fairly in lockstep with you until you said the phrase, he doesn't mean that much to the franchise, because I entirely disagree with you there. And the reason is because this is a franchise that has not had sustainable success at both the winning level and at the quarterback level for most of its tenure. It's been some good quarterbacks. Sonny Jurgensen, right? Obviously a good quarterback. Randall Cunningham, you brought up, the ultimate weapon, kind of revolutionized the position from both had a cannon for an arm and the ability to get outside the pocket and maneuver and things like that. Jaws went to a Super Bowl, was an offensive player of the year. But I think it was a time frame for the Eagles between the end of the Buddy Ryan era and the start of the Andy Reid era, which was just like doom and gloom Eagles football. And it had in part due to the fact that the ownership group wasn't Jeffrey Lurie's yet. They didn't want to spend money. You've talked about it a ton, about not re-signing guys like Reggie White and stuff and players of that caliber, where it just felt like this was just a doomed franchise. And Andy Reid comes in and Donovan McNabb comes in, and they set a precedent for winning and being a winning organization. Jeffrey Lurie takes over as the owner. He learns from the ownership portion of this. He's become one of the best owners in the NFL, if not in all of sports. The Eagles have become one of the best franchises in the NFL, if not all of sports. So I think the precedent was set in part because of the Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb duo, that while, yes, they did not win a Super Bowl, which Nick Foles did, which Jalen Hurts has, and that way, and in that regard, I don't think I'm putting McNabb over Jalen Hurts, as Hurts' career progresses. But I think it was the first time of sustainable winning, and at the beginning of it, the onset of it, it was done by good defense and by McNabb being a do-it-all quarterback.
He was a good player.
As you brought up, 2000, 2001. I think as we get further along in his career, it was done more with guys like Brian Westbrook, and you bring Terrell Owens in, and the defense is elite and things like that, and you get a better organization. But I do think there is a standard of winning that was brought in by Andy Reid, was brought in by Jeffrey Lurie, and was brought in by, in part, Donovan McNabb. So I think to say he doesn't mean that much to the organization is not fair to the quarterback that McNabb was.
Very good quarterback. He's not a Hall of Famer because he got cooked pretty early in his career. Like when he was done, he was done. It's actually a shame.
Sure, yeah, he fell off a cliff very quickly. There's no doubt about it. And he was not great in Washington, and he was really bad in Minnesota.
Yeah, and then he was out of the league. Remember, they were, who was the quarterback in Chicago that they were starting, and they didn't pick up Donovan, and he was so pissed because he's from Chicago. It was a stiff, and they were like they could have used a good quarterback, and they didn't even think about it. They didn't bring him in. It was I think it was 2012.
Was that the year that Caleb Haney was the quarterback? Yeah, the Caleb 2011 team was a mess after Cutler went down.
Yeah, because they released Donovan, lost his job, and they just he tapped out and they released him. But it's going to come off as me sounding like that, oh, well, you just hate McNabb. McNabb was a very good quarterback. But what's happened, and this is what I was saying earlier, what's happened since he left, like, was it really Donovan McNabb that helped usher in the winning, or was Donovan McNabb here and Andy Reid brought him in? Because look what's happened to the franchise since he's left, right? Like, they've continued winning. They've continued to be one of the better franchises in the NFL. In the last 10 years, they are one of the best, if not the best, them and the Chiefs.
For sure.
Andy Reid had to leave Philadelphia. He's winning Super Bowls in Kansas City. So Andy Reid continued to have success, and he had more success after he left. The Eagles continued to have success. They've had more success after Donovan left. So really, like, was it Donovan, or was it that Andy Reid created a template and showed the organization? And Jeffrey Lurie's a very smart dude, right? Like, Howie Roseman's a very smart dude. So all I'm saying is that, like, Peyton Manning, the impact he had on the Colts, no one looks at him and was like, because the Colts have more or less sucked, right? Like, the Colts aren't a great franchise. Look at Denver when Peyton Manning went to Denver. Like, Denver's not a good franchise. Look at any of these quarterbacks that we're talking about. What happens after they leave? If the franchise continues to be great, then it's like, all right, well, how much of an impact could he really have had? And by the way, a guy like Phillip Rivers, I'll take Donovan over Phillip Rivers, who compiled stats and numbers for his friggin' almost entire career. And he was a good quarterback for a long time. I'll take Donovan in any big game over Phillip Rivers. They won so many games in San Diego. They would have 13-win teams, and then they would lose early in the playoffs. So, like, I'm being fair about it. Donovan was a better quarterback. I'll take him over Phillip Rivers. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to compile stats and yards like Phillip was for his career, and that's what will make him a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and I think, so to answer that, the question you had just posed recently, I think the answer to that question can be yes, in all of it, right? Because there is a sustainable model of success that the Eagles have had, and they are a better organization in the last decade than they were in probably any portion of the franchise's history, even going to 4 straight NFC Championship games and 5 in, 8 years. Like, they're a better run organization now than they've ever been. No question about it, but you have to build that building block, right? That stepping stone. And I think Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb are the foundation of that stepping stone that has now since been built into, like, a skyscraper. You know what I mean? Like, it's gone beyond our wildest expectations of what it was and what it could be, because they are sustainably, like, top 2 organization in all of football and probably top 10 in American sports. But I do think you have to build the foundation first, and those guys were part of the foundation. So numerically, you're probably right. 59% career completion percentage is nothing to, like, be exuberantly excited about, you know? But he was, and I know that wins are not a quarterback stat, but he was like 40 games over 500 as an Eagles quarterback. Again, good teams, right? And they won a lot of games with good defense and good run games and things like that. But I do think there's merit to say, at the time of him leaving, he was the best quarterback in Eagles history. And since then, probably has been, A, looked upon less than favorably because of his own doing, in part because, as you brought up, he's been kind of a curmudgeon. And then B, since then, they've been a much better run organization, and Jalen Hurts has been like a model of consistency the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, Randy Rubart is out there in the chat is asking a lot of good questions and making a lot of good comments. But, like, the one thing he says, oh, well, look what he did with Thrash and Pinkston. Yeah, that doesn't make you retire his number. So, like, to me, he bullied and pitied his way to getting that number retired very quickly. Because if you look at it now, like, there's a lot of good players and a lot of franchises' histories. It doesn't mean that he gets his number retired. That's reserved for the creme de la creme. Yeah. That's reserved for I just got to say this, and we can move on. I think Violations Greg is going to join us in studio. Like, when the lights were shining the brightest, Donovan McNabb didn't play well. I mean, there's really no argument with that. With his NFC Championship record, to throwing up in the freaking Super Bowl, people don't want to hear that because you have to win a lot of games to get to that point. I totally agree. That's why I'm saying, like, he's a very good quarterback. When the lights were the brightest, he was at his worst. So sorry. No, like, if that's an intangible that puts you over the top or doesn't, that's how Brandon Graham gets his number retired, and it should be retired. Brandon Graham meant more to this franchise than Donovan McNabb ever will. Period. And he will continue to through the years. Tyler, you can have a final comment
and I
there.
think if we use the word retroactively, and if you're thinking about, and maybe it's not fair to comp him to Jalen Hurts, maybe not fair to either guy, but I think when you think about that part you just posed, Jalen Hurts inversely is at his best when the lights are brightest. Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Jalen Hurts was excellent in the NFC Championship game in both NFC title games that they appeared in, against the 49ers and this past year against the Commanders. So you're right. When the lights shine the brightest, Jalen Hurts thrives, and there's no question about it. And I think using that word retroactively, like if you looked at it now and they had not retired Donovan McNabb's number yet and they were thinking about it, there might be pause. There might be hesitation. But I do understand why they did it at the timeline in which they did it.
Why?
Well, because I think, again, it was an ushering in of like this sustainable success that this team has never had.
Yeah, but within a year?
No, I think a year was too quick. I don't disagree, because you're right. That's reserved for the elite quarterbacks, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's
guys
of
that
his
die.
era. Or a posthumous retirement, correct. I think the way that the timeline in which they did it maybe was too short. But I think they looked at it and said, this was the first time we've ever had sustainable success, and he was the focal point of it, at least in terms of just being the quarterback. I think that's why they did it. I think if you looked at it now, you'd probably say, maybe we don't make that move.
All right. Well, Violations Greg may or may not be here. I didn't check with him to see if he was coming in, but we'll see. If not, we have plenty of stuff to talk about. I want to rehash the Bill Belichick stuff from the week. There's this video out there that Tyler found that is I'm gonna watch for the first time. I waited because it seems like it's going to be very interesting. We have some of that. We'll get in some more Phillies as well. Our BetParx Parlay of the day, as we are limping to the finish line of the week here. That's all coming up right after this. Philly with John Marks, PHLY. All right, let's talk about pain. That's right, pain. Rothman Orthopedics. Are your joints aching? Are your hands cramping? What about your back? Rothman's got you. Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care. They've been doing it for over 50 years, and you're talking about right in your backyard, they have a team for each body part. So check it out, right? Hip, knee, spine, you name it, they have a team. Not just a doctor, a team. So they have a specialty, right, that they love. So they're specializing in you. So if you're a runner, and now that the weather's been great, you're out golfing, you're being more active, obviously. Weather gets better, you're more active. And you're in pain. Your hip, your knee, your spine, your shoulder, your elbow, foot and ankle, hand and wrist, sports medicine, rehab, physical medicine, trauma and fracture care, all the above. Rothman Orthopedics, 30-plus convenient locations in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. That's offices, urgent cares, walk-in centers. I've been to the urgent care in Limerick. I went to the office for my shoulder in Limerick. I had PT, physical therapy, right attached to it. It's Rothman right there. So if you're in pain, you don't have to live with it. Check out Rothman Orthopedics, specializing in orthopedics and you. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY, rothmanortho.com/PHLY. All right, my friends at TrueMark Financial. It is springtime, and you know what that means? Spring into savings. That's right. If you have financial goals, whether you're looking to buy a house or you want to take that dream vacation, what about building back up your emergency fund? TrueMark Financial Credit Union has the perfect savings account for you. They offer high-rate certificates and money market accounts to help your money grow faster and work harder for you. Visit TrueMark.com for rates and to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA. Rates are subject to change. For more details, full details, and to apply today, TrueMark.com/compare. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA. There we go. Hoo-ah. We are back. Bill Belichick. So are people, I have to assume, unless you get a lot of people, and this is always what you had, when we were talking about the Belichick thing before, I got a comment somewhere being like, why don't you talk about the Eagles just drafted? Let's talk about the Eagles. It's like, oh, God forbid I take 10 minutes to talk about Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend. They want to hear about backup linebacker depth on the team. Can't take a breath from talking about that. But what's going on with Bill Belichick is unbelievable. I don't know if people saw the interview on CBS over the weekend where she shut it down and she stopped it, the girlfriend Jordan Hudson. But you know what happens after you do that? Now everybody's going to start digging. You make yourself a part of the story, which Jordan Hudson has done since Bill started dating her. She's wanting to be seen. She wants to be seen. Now they're going to dig. Do you know, she's from Maine. Were you aware of this, Tyler Zulli, that her mother works at a sex toy shop and museum?
Had no idea.
Yes.
Had no idea.
Her dad was a fisherman and had a business that I don't think I saw bankruptcy or whatever, so I don't know what he's doing now. But the mom she works at a sex toy shop and a museum. Now you may ask, what is a museum? I think they have like retro or old school things there. Very odd. Just very odd that Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend would be working, or mom would be working there. But so there's now like a timeline for everything that's happened with Jennifer Hudson or Jordan Hudson. So now they're digging into it. Apparently, she's amassed $9 million in real estate assets since they started dating. Her job before this, she was a cosmetologist. So where do you get cash to buy all these real estate holdings to where now she's got $9 million? Well, you take a wild guess at where that happened from. So now there's Page Six and all these other tabloids are searching for property records, and they're showing that she owns like this. I'm online, Tyler, and it's like, well, she owns this house. There it is. This house, that house, this house, that house. And it's like, wow, she's really got this figured out. She's really, really got this thing figured out. And Bill Belichick, to me, so like, what is it? Is he really that clueless? Like, is he like, what does he think is going on here? Is he just so smitten where he leaves the NFL? He's never paid attention to anything like this before. And now he's got this 24-year-old, and she's attractive for sure. And now she's like, he might as well put a choke collar around with a leash because she's just leading him around anywhere. And let me say this, because she's acting as his publicist now. And you saw that in the CBS This Morning interview that she did. I mean, like, are you serious? Do you know the bleep storm that she's caused with this particular story? Violations Greg is coming in the studio. Just talking about, VG, what's up, dude? What's up, man? Talking about the mess of Jordan Hudson.
Oh, yeah, I love this story.
Isn't this the best thing ever?
Like, it's weird. Something odd happening, it feels like it.
So is this kind of a financial domination fetish?
I don't know. You see, she's got $8 million now worth of properties.
What I was just talking about.
And they say the mortgages are paid off. Like,
yeah, he just gave her the money.
yeah.
I mean, this isn't a Bill Belichick obviously has a lot of money. He's not a billionaire.
That much money.
He's not a billionaire.
No.
To give some 24-year-old $8 million, that's a lot of money, dude.
And it was like the day she like closed on one mortgage and like applied for another mortgage the same day. And then 2 days later, another mortgage. She's like, yo, I'm getting them for everything I got everything he's got right now. $8 million. And they're all income generating houses. They're all like duplexes. So she's set, man.
She turned single family houses into apartments.
Yeah, so she's just
it seems like she knows what she's doing as far as real estate.
She's pretty shrewd.
She really is.
Yeah,
shrewd's one word for it. I think she's nuts.
He's nuts. I mean, come on.
So my question is, how does this happen?
Did you see her ex-boyfriend come out and support her?
Yeah, the 60-some-year-old dude.
63 years old, and she was like 20 when he was dating her.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing weird about that.
Nah, man.
Did you hear Mad Dog Russo go off about it?
No, I love Mad Dog.
So he's going on. He's going, forget his daughter's name. If Sarah Russo came home and said, "Hey, I want to go out to dinner with my new boyfriend, and but we got to go to dinner at 5 o'clock and get the early bird special." Like, why do we have to do early bird special? Because my boyfriend's 73 years old. He's 10 years older than me. And he's like going nuts about it.
Yeah, dude, it's
every guy can relate that has children or a daughter.
It's a little wild.
What's the youngest? You're happily married.
Yes,
but. And like if 7-year-old guys want to bang 25-year-old, like fine, knock yourself out. That's not what this is.
No,
this chick's leading him around with a collar and a leash. She's gonna ruin his reputation.
He must like it. She put the kibosh on the Hard Knocks story. I mean, everything.
No, she screwed that up.
I thought she said no. Like she was the one who said no. That they didn't want to do it.
Well, from her.
Yeah.
She's acting as his publicist.
No, she's the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of Belichick Productions.
Every email goes through her. You know he's not looking at his email. He sends out an email that says just CC her on every email because he's not looking at that.
Yeah, it's great.
Jesus God. Did you put the picture of the beach picture, Tyler?
She is an attractive woman, but
she ain't that attractive.
No, she's not $8 million.
And she's like, and like I said, if you want to date somebody younger than you, fine. But like, look at this picture. I mean, come on.
Like even I wouldn't do that. Come on,
dude.
And I'm 20 years younger than him and way poorer. I'm not doing that,
bro. The thing on the field where she comes out dressed like Faith Hill, wearing stilettos, and she's over there like putting stuff in his pocket on spring. Like, could you imagine?
No, if you're a kid there, like
this is embarrassing. If I was North Carolina, I'd be freaking mortified.
It is embarrassing, but it is. You feel like there's something wrong with him. I feel like he sells hostage or something.
This is elderly abuse.
Some kind of public humiliation or something. Something going on, man.
I think he likes it.
He might. And if he does, he does. Good for him then. If it's working for him.
I'm sure his kids are thrilled.
Well, I mean, sure. When your $8 million of your inheritance goes away, sure. You get upset. Thanks, Futz, in the chat. Yes, prayers for my algorithm, because my algorithm has never been the same ever since I started coming in here. My wife is very concerned about my algorithm ever since I've come in here.
Oh, man. Yeah, you send it to me, too.
I get all of that. Who knew so many people made shavers for foot calluses? I get them constantly.
Well, you can't get away from it now. Yeah. She looks like a poisoner. You know what she looks like? And, like, at least Anna, like, here's the great thing, right? Anna Nicole Smith was this beautiful, busty, like 20-some-year-old blonde that was from the friggin' middle, like she was from the South, like just like dumb. And she marries this like 80-year-old billionaire or whatever, right? She's not fooling everybody. He can barely, he's slobbering all over himself.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick is still functioning at a high
$10 million
level.
a year at North Carolina.
Right. Like, so she's just like, it's obvious, like, oh, yeah, sure, right? Like, he's taking Instagram pictures and she's on his friggin' feet on the beach.
Dude, he commanded a room of what, 70 guys in a locker room. If you fumbled, you get benched.
Oh my God.
And she's got to step in and say, oh, we're not talking about that.
Can you imagine if one hit like his defensive coordinator, like Charlie Weiss, who's this big fat coordinator, shows up to training camp one year with some 27-year-old smoke show and is out there at training camp holding his water bottle. He'd have a fit.
Yeah, no way it happens, man.
I can't get enough of this. I can't.
It's great. It's a great, and there's like, I think it's consenting adults, so do whatever you want, but I just love the story. And the fact that like her mom runs a sex toy shop in Provincetown and museum. Yeah, it's great, man. You can't make it up.
You can't make it up. The first picture released was them petting a goat together.
He's symbolic. He is the goat.
It's true. It's a good one.
Yeah,
and by the way, I don't think she's a hooker. There's a lot of people that are saying she's
you would
an
have
escort
found
or
out
whatever.
already. Internet sleuths are too good. They would have found her listings or her photos. It's definitely out of the question.
For the reason and this guy spoke out before the ex-boyfriend when it first became public that he was like, no, she's a good girl. Like he defended her. She's a good girl. I don't believe that he was on.
Nah, but they might have. How'd they meet? I don't know.
Maybe they were on a plane.
No clue, but there could be a plane. There could be one of those sites for rich older guys. Maybe he met her through his granddaughter. That would be weird too. You wouldn't want to say that. So who knows, right?
And Steve Belichick, his son, who is his defensive coordinator's wife, is commenting on Instagram.
Yeah, she's not happy. Yeah.
Of course she's nice. This is ridiculous. I heard Charles Barkley on Dan Patrick, and he was asked, and he said that he's like, oh, I'm gonna reach out because I want to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, wellness check. Because you've come to life where Charles Barkley's publicly telling the world he's going to do a wellness check on you.
Yeah, you have to. It's unbelievable. What else did I have for you today? We're going to play this video in a second, Tyler.
Oh, boy.
So there's a fan expo at the convention center this weekend. Do you know about it?
Fan expo? No.
I think it's this
Fans
weekend.
of what?
So I'm not in the Marvel stuff or any of the comic stuff.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
Tyler, you are?
Yeah, big time.
I figured.
Yeah.
Are you Marvel? Are there two different ones?
Well, yeah. So I definitely am more Marvel than DC for sure.
So
who's the headliner of the Marvel world?
It depends on who you ask. Like Spider-Man's probably the most popular, I would imagine.
So just some comic creators, Scott Snyder's Batman.
I mean, I've been to one of these.
So Batman is DC.
Okay, well, whatever. So there's a lot of them, but that's not who I'm here to talk about.
Okay.
So I don't know about them.
All right.
So tell me if you and it has to be a selfie now because I don't care about autographs. Nobody does. But so here's who's appearing: the Star-Studded Fan Expo, Philadelphia. William Shatner, Bill Shatner.
Great headliner.
Holy cow! What I
It's
love
a headliner.
picture of him.
Yeah.
Oh my
What's it cost to
God.
get into this thing? $20?
No, it can't be. No, you should see. What I don't know if you have to pay extra to then. You probably have to pay extra.
You get an admission ticket, and then you got to pay extra for each star you want to meet or get a photo with. I've been to one of these.
All right, yes or no? Mel Gibson.
Nah.
I have no interest either.
Nah. He was cool like 35 years ago, I guess.
Like crazy movie star fans.
Yeah, he's preachy.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Remember when
Bill Shatner's crazy too, but in a cool way.
In a cool way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love William Shatner.
3-day pass for this, the baseline 3-day pass, $99.
That's not bad.
You could buy individual days. They're different per each day. Friday's $49, Saturday's $64, Sunday's $54. So like if you have interest in going Saturday, you almost just spend the extra $30 and get the 3-day pass.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Glover, his partner in Lethal Weapon.
Sure, maybe. Yeah.
John Cena.
Nah, I'm not a Cena guy myself, but he's probably got to be the most popular one, I would imagine.
Are you a wrestling fan?
Not dabble anymore. Not
Well,
really.
That's a yes. It's either a yes or no question. If you're
watch
like,
it.
yeah, so you're wrestling. It's okay. I'm not going to rip you.
All right.
You can watch wrestling. I watched wrestling when I was 11 or 12. Brought one for you.
Oh, Jolly, a real mature power drink. Jolly Rancher flavored power drinks. Jolly Rancher.
It's a C4. They're so
Is it
good.
a Jolly Rancher watermelon?
I fell off the wagon.
Yeah.
I was at Target and there were 2 for $4. I couldn't help myself.
Cool.
All right, more. John Carpenter, the director of Halloween.
Yes.
Thing.
Oh, great.
See, I knew you would say
I
that.
got a story about him. So my buddy Kyle Cassidy, amazing photographer in town, has done great stuff that's blown up nationally. He reached out to John Carpenter. He's like, dude, I'm a big fan. I want to do a portrait of you. And John Carpenter says, if you can get here, you can do it. So my buddy raised a GoFundMe, went out there, and has become John Carpenter's main photographer. And John Carpenter, the horror director, all he does, for the most part, is sit around in black sweatpants and a black shirt and play NBA video games. And that is his whole world.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Is he taking bong hits too, or is it?
No, man. I don't think he does any drugs. I think he just loves video game basketball.
That's awesome. That's wait. Michael Myers was
Halloween.
Halloween.
John Carpenter.
So I was in Vegas for a bachelor party, and I end up meeting the wife of the actor that played Michael Myers. They're no longer married, by the way. I've since Googled.
Oh, the guy with the mask on?
I have no idea who the actor is,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I don't know his
so
name.
she's like whatever. Yeah. And she was so nuts. She's like there with like her girlfriend. She's like doing lesbian activity like in the middle of the casino with other women. And it's like totally nuts. But she was cool. She's like, yeah, my husband's Michael Myers. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, it's weird because the credit is like Thing or something. It's not even a credit. It's Michael Myers, the guy behind the mask. I forget what the credit is.
Anyway, so this guy, I would probably go Bill Shatner 1, but this guy wouldn't be far off. Number 2, Steve Guttenberg.
Oh, yeah, man. A little Police Academy action.
Mahoney.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Any of the Police Academy guys.
Three Men and a Baby, is he in that?
He was a huge star. Ted Danson. Steve
he was big
Guttenberg.
for a while.
Who was the other?
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck. Yeah, Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck. I would
3 Heartthrobs.
Oh, my God. You kidding me? Hairy chest?
Mahoney.
Everywhere. Helen Hunt.
Yeah, what's she from?
Dolph Lundgren.
Wait, has Helen Hunt been in any like comic book superhero?
Well, these are I
Star Trek, I
get,
that. Horror movies. What is Helen Hunt?
This isn't a mixed bag. Helen Hunt, no. Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
Rocky 4.
Nah, I hate Rocky 4.
I would love this one. Christopher Lloyd.
Sure.
They have a Back to the Future trio. They have Jennifer. What was her name in the movie?
Here's a
Marty McFly's girlfriend.
Here's a bad take. I've never seen the entire movie.
Entire movie.
What?
Back to the Future.
All right.
It was like a kids movie. I felt
We're
like
gonna come back. I have. What are we talking about on the other? Huh? It's a kids movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
I guess what people say. I've seen snippets of it because it's always on TV.
Yeah, I don't know how you've not seen the whole movie. By the way, there's a bunch of people at this event that you did not name that, like, for me would be the ones that I would want to go see.
Yeah, people I've never heard of. Right. No,
well,
I know. I have
some of them, but like they're like, for example, Giancarlo Esposito is going to be there. I think he's a phenomenal actor.
Never heard of him.
I don't know.
Andy Serkis is there.
Who?
Never heard of him.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
He played Gollum.
Yeah.
From Lord of the Rings. You get all these guys.
I've never
that
seen
I've
Lord of
never-
the Rings.
Me neither. I have no interest. McLovin's there.
Oh, I like McLovin. I love Superbad. That's a great movie.
Great movie. How about Priscilla Presley?
Nah.
No. All right, so we're going for Gutenberg and for Mahoney.
And John Carpenter's number one on my list.
John Carpenter would be number one.
He's here.
on
John
list.
Carpenter in town this weekend.
John Carpenter will be appearing Saturday and Sunday. You could go.
No, I can't. I'm flying out Saturday, but
Where are you
I would
going?
love to. Tagging along. My wife's got a conference in Salt Lake City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a beautiful part of the country, Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
You
what
know,
do you
weird
care?
beer laws and stuff.
Yeah. That beer can't be
Thank
more
God
than
they
like 2
recognize us medical marijuana people out there. So
They do?
I got a temporary card. I got a temporary Utah card for $15. It lasts me 21 days. I can go out there and get some medical cannabis.
But you do need a medical card in Utah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do?
I was surprised they even allow that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just figured everywhere recreationally is pretty much close to being wherever. Last thing here with you, Tyler. You want to put up the the White Lotus? Yeah, you watch White Lotus?
Yeah.
Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
They're on Saturday.
He's there on Saturday too? Man, this is a bargain for $99, depending on how much you got to pay to see these guys.
Charlie Cox
Who's that?
from
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
He's Daredevil.
Yeah.
And what is Daredevil?
What is Daredevil?
Yeah.
So he's a
Is it show or a movie?
it's both, but he's
Oh.
in the show again. Daredevil is a Marvel superhero. He's blind, kind of like street level superhero, fights crime type of guy. He's a lawyer.
Actress Heather Graham is there all 3 days.
Yeah, I'm going to check out Heather. Man, Roller Girl.
Roller Girl and Boogie Nights. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is great.
All right.
That was awesome. Yeah, not surprisingly, she's available all 3 days to.
All right. You got to hustle while you can get it.
All right, so Tyler, you're gonna have to explain this video because
Yeah.
I said I wanted to see it live on the air for the first time.
This video I found on just scrolling Twitter, and it looks like it's on a
Not from Delco, is it?
No, it's not that
Thanks.
one. No, it's from an Ohio roadway. And I've always said, guys, I think the middle lane is the most dangerous lane on a 3-lane highway because people drive both way too fast and way too slow in the middle lane. And this is part of the reason as to why. I'm just going to let you guys watch the video. There's no sound, so you're going to have to talk over top of it. But this was from one of those like Ohio, like a PennDOT type.
PennDOT camera,
yeah.
all right, in
Yeah.
Ohio. Gotcha. All right.
So watch the middle lane right before the 670 sign.
So they're going past the airport or an airport exit. Watch the middle lane. And I'm looking, and there's a car that's pretty much not running at
this
all.
person.
And there's,
This is someone who's misdirects it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I hate these people.
Ooh.
Exactly.
But VG, there's a bigger problem than the accident. Not a bigger problem, but another problem than the accident they just caused.
What, they drive away?
Look, they're leaving.
Yeah, sure. They're unscathed. They're like,
That's the thing, they didn't
these
get-
crazy people behind me. It's like Mr. Magoo driving that.
All right,
it's
so-
always the big accident behind them.
So there's the airport exit, which this person in a middle lane misses the airport exit, but can't get over to it, but is still like,
What are they waiting for?
if there was no other cars coming, they would be able to illegally get over and get off the exit. Stops dead on the highway in the middle lane, and then another car stops behind it, and then another car stops, but then someone obviously doesn't see it, and bam,
Sure.
rams into the back of the cars. The original car that started it, the red van, didn't get hit in any of the collateral damage, just drives away to the airport exit they
Sure,
stopped
man.
for.
It's a good day. Well, I don't know what's going on behind me. The lunatic's behind me. This drive. Just go to the next exit. What's
to the
it?
next
How-
exit.
go
You're like,
to the next
sorry.
exit. What's it? A 5-minute delay?
Yeah, like that's your fault.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Always go to the next. I hate people. Or you'll see people who back up on
Yeah,
the
they do the
emergency
back
lane
up.
to get to the exit. Just go to the next
Yeah,
damn
but
exit.
I'd rather them do that than do what they
Oh,
did
well,
there.
this is just, yeah.
Now, is there a
total-
follow-up? Did they catch him? Whoever
No,
it was?
there's no follow-up to it. I'll have
Really?
to follow back. I'll see what happens. But like, you're right, because most highways, right, they have the on-ramps and the off-ramps both sides. You take the next exit, you get up. You
Yeah.
basically just go over the
Make a U-turn,
overpass
basically.
and go back the other
Right.
way. Sure, it's gonna take you 5-10 extra minutes, but like
10 max, I
you
mean,
can't do what you
It
just
looks like
did
it's a
there.
civilized area, like not rural. So the next exit is probably like a mile or two.
Well, and here's
2
the
minutes.
thing, right? Like you've already caused this accident. You're at fault because you're on camera. They can see.
Do they
you,
even
right?
know? Are they that oblivious that they have no idea
there's
that they're
no
the reason
way.
this has happened?
There's no way they didn't like.
They knew, and they're like, let me get
Because
the
they may just
bleep
think there's
outta
nothing
here.
wrong with stopping here, and it's these people behind who
No,
didn't give
dude,
me a comfort zone or a buffer zone.
That's the scumbag in the parking lot that hits your car and then looks around and sees
Doesn't
nobody's
leave a
there and
little
leaves.
note. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's happened to me before.
You have?
Came out of the well, I didn't hit somebody. I came out of the Woolgrove Mall and I had a friggin' huge dent in my door. And not like the dent I got in this parking lot here where someone opened the door smashed. No, like a legit, like my car looks like it could be totaled dent. That wasn't a nice car, but anyway.
I've done it. I've left a note. They never called me.
Really?
Yeah. I opened my door one time and the wind gust just, I wasn't expecting it, threw my door open and hit their mirror.
You know what happened to me? A huge dent in my door.
Yeah.
I'm
You gotta leave a note.
All right. Well, listen, have fun in Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm. Kentucky Derby Eve it is.
How long are you going to be? Oh, is Kentucky Derby tomorrow?
Yes.
I didn't even know
It's
that.
tomorrow. What?
I didn't know that.
First Saturday in May, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Every year, same day.
I'm a big Belmont guy. I have to go up to the Belmont.
Belmont.
I don't pay attention to the Belmont. That's the only time it really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right. Well, don't expect to have fun in Salt Lake City watching the.
I'm just
Kentucky
gonna
Derby.
eat some gummies and chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, be careful.
Hey, maybe I'll do it again. I'm supposed to land Friday 6 a.m. So if I'm in, I should be here in time to pop in.
Are you going for a week?
I'm going Saturday to Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
enjoy it, man. I wish I was going somewhere.
I will
Saturday,
enjoy your
Thursday.
Jolly Rancher C4.
I'm going to, man. I'm going home. All three kids home from home today. My daughter has double pink eye,
Oh, man.
and my other daughter had she had a fever last night after
That's
that.
contagious, isn't it? Doesn't it blow through the whole family to pink eye?
Oh yeah, my other daughter had it last week.
Yeah. Don't shake hands with him, man.
All right, get out of here. There he is.
All right.
Violations Greg. He'll be on the Anthony Gargano show coming up live in about 12 minutes. We'll come back. The BetParx Parlay of the day and much more as well. Philly with John Marks. Don't you go anywhere. All right, let's talk. Speaking about BetParx, you kidding me with BetParx? Are you kidding me? So, listen, it has not worked out well. Our BetParx Parlay of the day has not worked out well. I think that's safe to say. It hasn't worked out well recently, but that doesn't mean you can't get back off the mat and live bet on Philadelphia baseball. Golf, pro hoops, playoffs, hockey playoffs. Man, they're all good. Phillies back in action tonight against the Arizona baseball team. Live betting's better on the BetParx app. The BetParx online sportsbook and online casino app has you covered. We talked about all the sports, but how about this? Live dealer blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, and hot online slots, and new users up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to betparx.com. Download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Must be 21 and then PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hoo-ah. All right, Empire Today. If you were in the market for new flooring, right? Like Empire Today, it's convenience. You're getting the best in the industry, and they're bringing the showroom to you. All right, so you don't have to worry about well, when can we make it out there? Let's go out we'll try to do it Saturday afternoon. Oh, but the kids have baseball Saturday afternoon. No, they bring the showroom to you at your convenience, and you're getting experts. Isn't that what it's really all about? You want to know that people know what they're talking about. Your best bet for a new floor is Empire Today. They live and breathe flooring. That's all they do, and they're with you every step of the way. They bring the showroom to you. You're picking the right flooring and the right colors from your space. It's important. If you've bought furniture and you brought it home and you're like, looks different in the house than it did in the showroom. Lighting can be different. Same thing with flooring, right? So they're bringing the showroom to you so you can see what it looks like next to your furniture, under your lighting, whatever, right? So it's so much better from that perspective. And you're getting precise measurements taken right on the spot. So any questions that you have are answered. There's no surprises, and you're getting clear upfront and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, schedule installation as soon as the next day. Get your free in-home estimate because some things are just better at home. And PHLY listeners receive a $350 discount. Just use promo code PHLY. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/PHLY for full details. empiretoday.com/PHLY. Hooah. All right, it's time for our BetParx Parlay of the day. All right, so Tyler, and this was on purpose. This was calculated. I said I'm not even going to look at anything because all I do is overthink things. Because normally when I look at something and I'll be like, well, line's a little bit out of whack. Like I like this, and then I outthink it. Like 2 nights ago, I wanted to take the Phillies, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm going to take the Lakers. I should have took the Phillies because they ended up winning the game. So last night I lost both legs. I had the Phillies money line and the over. Of course, Taijuan Walker and whatever that stiff is for the Nationals came out and actually pitched well. So I went 0 for 2. You lost your leg of the parlay anyway, so I don't care.
Man, it doesn't. I can't. I said yesterday I can't buy a win, and then so I took a 2.5 strikeout prop. I bought it down. Took 2.5 strikeout prop. Guy got 2. What am I supposed to do here, John? They had 6 combined strikeouts in the game. Paul Skeens only had 3.
Very, very unusual.
He gave up the same amount of home runs that he did. He had strikeouts. It was a weird game yesterday.
All right. Well, what do you like for tonight?
Yeah, so we were joking about it before the show and saying that, when Andrew was on with you, he gave a crazy soccer bet. And he's given me soccer bets in the past that have won. So I said, I'm 0 for 4 this week. Might as well give it a shot, right? Might as well try it. I'm going to the Premier League because Manchester City needs a win to stay above a couple of other teams below them in the Champions League qualification. Now, I don't think they can win the Premier League. I believe that's already locked up by Liverpool. But Manchester City needs a win today. They're going up against the Wolves team that's won 5 in a row. But Man City needs this win today. At home, I'm taking Man City. They're minus 278 in regular time. Forget the tie. Forget the end or. I just think Man City wins this game today, minus 278.
All right. I am going to, and this may be risky, and I know I think you may be talking about Bryce Harper coming up in your PHLY Philly show today. You got a live one coming up at 1, is it, or 11?
1 o'clock, yep.
1 o'clock. Bryce Harper has not been good this year. And because he's Bryce Harper, we're going to kind of ignore it, or we're just going to say, yeah, he'll come around. Not a lot of star athletes in this town get this type of treatment. Bryce Harper's going yard tonight. I'm going to take a Bryce Harper home run at plus 310. Combine that with a Manchester City win. So we're going to bet $25 to win 120. All right? 25 to win 120. Because we're down. I'm not even going to tell you how much we're down.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. And this is risky. It's risky. But I've just been so bad with everything else. And by the way, we've been saying Schwarber. If we would have done that some of those games, he hit home runs in it. So I'm gonna go Bryce Harper home run tonight. And then next time, whatever pick I want, I'm gonna go to the opposite. And maybe it'll work.
So I texted Andrew to follow up. Obviously, big soccer fan. I said, Man City win today? He said, yep, 2-1.
Well, they're big favorites.
So there we go.
Well, we haven't talked to this guy in a couple weeks, but he joins us right now. He's our intern, Daulton, live from his remote studio, and he joins us right now. He normally gives us a stat on Fridays. What's up, Daulton?
How you doing, John? How's everything going?
Good, buddy. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the Eagles draft?
I really enjoyed the draft. I was a little bit shocked by some of the picks. I really wanted Malachi Starks in the first round, but kind of like you, as soon as they drafted Jahad Campbell, I started watching some of his highlights, and I really do like what I saw. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really good draft.
Yeah, and I was talking about it last night. I was streaming, and I was talking about Ty Campbell because I did more film study on him on YouTube there, Daulton, and this is he's a maniac. This dude. In the 4th round. So now you're just adding all these pieces, these Vic Fangio pieces to the defense. And you have Jahad Campbell, he's like a heat-seeking missile. You got a safety who's undersized, but he seems like he's going to knock himself out all the time delivering hits. And then you got a Ty Robinson. First 5 picks, defense. So, they're set on offense. They're adding to the defense. I'm quite pleased with the Eagles draft. Who are your top 5 Eagles quarterbacks of all time? Daulton?
I think my list is similar to yours. I think I'd have Hurts 1, I'd have Foles 2, just because those two have won a Super Bowl, and then I'd probably go McNabb 3. I'll give Randall 4 and Jaws 5.
Tyler Zulli, did you take? I bet you put Donovan McNabb over Nick Foles. You seem like a McNabb sympathizer.
Yeah, I would go McNabb 2. I would probably. I'm tempted to go Randall 3, but Foles' Super Bowl title, I think, probably puts him there. It's a small sample size, obviously. But I think, to me, at this point, I would go Hurts 1 at this point. Hurts, McNabb, Foles, Randall, Jaworski, I think.
No Kevin Cobb on your list, though.
Yeah, no Kevin Cobb. No Mike McMahon.
See, that's what we should do is the worst. That's not a bad idea for a future Philly feud. The worst quarterbacks of the Eagles.
Vince Young probably on that list.
Remember he had that one win against the Giants? Didn't he come back? He didn't do anything all game. I think he led them on a drive. Anyway, Daulton, do you have a stat for us this week? Because you're our numbers guy. You have your calculator with you. You're punching into the machine.
I do have a stat for you. So Rangers going to be coming back on Sunday, and I've heard some chatter that some people might want him in the bullpen instead of a starter. So I have some of his statistics from the bullpen.
Ooh.
So in 68 games coming out of the bullpen, he has a ERA of 2.91. He has 4 saves. He's allowed 10 home runs. He's walked 31 batters, and he struck out 86.
Wow. So how many innings is that? So I remember him early. Okay. I remember him early in his career. It's funny. Early in his career when he came up, to me, I was like, oh, yeah, like this guy's not anything more than a 4A pitcher, right? His velocity wasn't great, kind of undersized or whatever. And he's turned himself into a good pitcher. But yeah, like I know why he's in the starting rotation. By the way, his agent is Scott Boras. So if you think that doesn't have something to do with it, you're asleep at the wheel. But
it's a contract year too, so yeah.
Right. It's a contract year. Scott Boras, like if you put him in the bullpen outside of maybe in the playoffs or if they're really, really desperate, I hope he's the Ranger Suarez we saw. Because think about this, Intern Daulton. The first half of last year, man, we were talking about him being a Cy Young candidate, and maybe he's going to win Cy Young. He was odds-on favorite or close to it at one point last year, early in the year, midway through the year.
He was close to maybe winning like 20 games or something, like over 20.
Absolutely. By the way, if you're watching on TV right now, you can certainly slide on over to allphly.com because we are entering the territory we call overtime. All right. So Ranger Suarez out of the bullpen, not going to happen. But like when you were reading those stats, I looked at Tyler, because we were kind of talking about it. Tyler's kind of like, it makes a lot of sense. Taijuan Walker pitched well again yesterday. So now Taijuan Walker goes to the bullpen. I don't think you're a better team, and we'll see how he looks as a starter, Suarez. I just don't know how you're a better team. You're already deep in your rotation, and now you need an extra bullpen arm. And Suarez could certainly be that guy. All right. Intern Daulton, thank you. Excellent stuff as always, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend, guys.
There he is. Intern Daulton. So Walker, he pitched last night. So what is he, your long guy now, Tyler? Like what inning are you using Taijuan Walker?
Yeah, that to me is really kind of the interesting question, and it's something that you and I have talked a little briefly about, but we haven't kind of gotten entirely into. Is what's the plan with the bullpen? Because you're not going to move Taijuan Walker can't be sent down without his own decision. Plus, he's pitched too well, I think, to do that. He's been really good so far this year. So, are you moving on from Carlos Hernandez, who's a guy with stuff, but the numbers aren't great? Are you moving on from Joe Ross, who you paid $4 million to? He's kind of your swing guy. Who do you move, right? What's the decision that's going to get made in the next 48 hours that I really don't know the right answer? I think the answer is probably going to end up being Hernandez because I think he's the easiest to move, but it doesn't necessarily mean I think and we said this the other day, he felt at 20 whatever it was when the Phillies claimed him. There's a reason behind that. But I think teams are probably a little bit more desperate for bullpen help now with injuries. Like the Diamondbacks just lost 2 of their best relievers. A.J. Puck went to the 60. Justin Martinez went to the 15.
Yeah.
I could see a team like that claiming him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't know what the move is.
Just because of his stuff, teams may say, like a bad team may say, well, like, what do we care? You bring him in
Right.
and you put him on the roster and you hope to develop him. But yeah, it would have to there's nothing that I've seen from Hernandez. Just a team that's trying to win a World Series to where to me, Ross is I know Pat Egan doesn't like Ross, but I like Ross. I think he's good.
Like the Nationals, we talked about their bullpen plenty over the last series. It's the worst bullpen of the season so far. They have like a team 7 ERA as a bullpen, right? Like they wouldn't take a chance on a guy like Hernandez. How about a team like Colorado, who actually has a pretty good bullpen ERA, but they stink, right? As a team, they stink.
Yeah, maybe.
Like with a team like, you know what I mean? I think
or nobody will want him and he goes to AAA and
sure. I mean, it's still plausible, right?
Yeah, I agree. All right, we'll have to see what happens.
By the way, the Phillies bullpen ERA now the 5th worst in baseball. They've gone from the 2nd worst to the 5th worst. They are under a 5. The Nationals, Angels, Marlins, Brewers, all worse
that,
now.
And in a week, they could be 10th worst or 15th worst.
They could also be 2nd worst again.
They sure could. I don't like their favorites tonight. I don't like I still have, I'm still spooked over the Diamondbacks. I look at it because they're starting a couple of the guys that went against them. I know Merrill Kelly's starting. Is that tonight?
Yeah, he's not been as good since that season. Like last year, he only pitched 13 games of 4 ERA. This year, he's got a 4.4. I get your point, right? There is still like ghosts of that series, but he's definitively not as good as he's been as he was in the 2023
Both
season.
teams 17 and 14, so still very similar teams. Hopefully we can. I would love for the Phillies to win 2 or 3.
And Luzardo on the mound tonight. You have to feel confident at least with the starter on the mound.
And then Nola, because you know me, I am like big time believer in Aaron Nola, so he pitches on Saturday.
Yeah, I've heard you say that you think that Aaron Nola is the ace of this team still.
Aaron Nola's fine. He had a really good start last time out too.
He was really good. Yep.
Let's hope that
Can he build on
we
it?
see more of that. Yep. All right, everybody have a great weekend. We are back and better than ever, as Mike Greenberg once said. On Monday. Everybody have a great, safe weekend. Anthony is live right now. Switch on over to him. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll talk to you on Monday. See you.
We all silly like the mayor.